All right, so are you ready to dive in today? We're going to be looking at what an AI doctor chatbot recommends for a 48-year-old man.
Wow, that sounds pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, this should be pretty cool. And we're going to be looking at all the essentials that this digital doc recommends. So we'll cover those must-do health checks and maybe even uncover some interesting stuff along the way.
Sounds good.
Of course, though, we have to say that this is just for informational purposes, and it is not a substitute for professional medical advice.
Right. Always good to remember that.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The AI doctor really emphasizes regular blood pressure monitoring.
Yeah, that seems to be like a big thing for this chatbot.
It is, and it's for a good reason because apparently blood pressure can be high even without any symptoms.
Oh, wow. So you might not even know.
Exactly, you could feel totally fine and have no idea that something's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The chatbot actually calls it a silent threat, which
Hmm.
I think is a pretty accurate description.
Yeah, I like that. It goes on to say that even if your blood pressure is just a little bit high over time, it can make your arteries stiffen up,
Yeah.
and then your heart has to work harder, and then your risk of stroke increases.
Okay, so that's definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of things, we should probably be checking often. What about cholesterol?
Yeah, that's another big one. The AI recommends getting those levels checked every 4 to 6 years. And they say that if you have a family history of heart disease, you should get it checked even more often.
Okay, so like if your dad or your brother has had heart problems, then
Yeah, exactly. Then you want to be extra careful and get those levels checked more frequently. The chatbot goes into detail about the different types of cholesterol and why it's so important to understand your LDL.
no deal. That's the bad cholesterol, right?
Exactly, the bad one. And the AI explains it in a way that's really easy to understand.
Okay, how so?
Well, it says to imagine your arteries like they're highways for your blood.
Okay, I can see where this is going.
So high LDL cholesterol is like these traffic jams that build up and make it hard for your blood to flow through.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like plaque buildup.
Exactly. And that can lead to some serious problems like heart attacks and strokes.
Yeah, no one wants that. So how do we get rid of those cholesterol traffic jams?
Well, the chatbot has some pretty good advice. It says to focus on eating a balanced diet with good fats, like the kind you find in avocados and nuts.
So it's not just about cutting out all the fat. It's about choosing the right kinds of fat.
Right. And it also suggests adding in soluble fiber, which is found in things like oats and beans. That kind of fiber can actually attach to cholesterol and help your body get rid of it.
Oh, wow. So it's like a double whammy. You're adding in good stuff and getting rid of the bad stuff.
Precisely. That's a good way to put it.
All right, so moving on to another checkup, blood sugar. This one's all about diabetes, right?
Yeah, that's right. The AI is really concerned about the increase in type 2 diabetes, especially with so many people struggling with obesity these days.
It makes sense that those two things would be connected.
Right. It suggests getting your blood sugar checked regularly, especially if you have any risk factors like a family history of diabetes.
Okay, so better safe than sorry, especially if diabetes runs in your family.
Absolutely. And, catching it early is really important.
I would imagine so. But what's the big deal about finding out early?
Well, the chatbot actually explains that managing your blood sugar from the get-go can significantly reduce your risk of long-term complications.
What kind of complications?
Things like kidney disease and vision problems.
Okay, so pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to mess around with.
All right, so we've covered blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar. What's next?
Well, now we got to talk about something that can be a little scary, cancer screenings.
Oh boy. Yeah, that one's never fun.
Yeah.
But it's important, right?
Absolutely. The AI recommends considering prostate, colon, and skin cancer checks, but it's very clear that this is where getting advice from your own doctor is super important.
So it's not like a one-size-fits-all thing.
Nope, not at all. The chatbot actually says that these screenings aren't for everyone and that the decision to get them should be based on your individual risk factors and your family history.
Okay, so you got to talk to your doctor and figure out what makes sense for you.
Exactly. The AI chatbot's goal here is to guide you, not to tell you what to do. And it also points out all the advancements in screening technology these days, which can make the whole process less invasive and more accurate.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Okay.
All right, so we've talked about blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and cancer screenings. What else is on this AI doctor's list?
Well, it says we shouldn't forget about our senses, vision, and hearing.
Oh, right. Those are important too.
Yep. Eye exams can detect more than just vision changes. They can also find conditions like glaucoma. And as for hearing, well, let's just say those loud concerts from our younger days might be catching up to us.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've been to my fair share of those. And it's not just about blasting music, right? The
Yeah.
hearing loss can just happen naturally as you get older.
Exactly. And the chatbot actually brought up a study that found that if you have hearing loss and don't get it treated, it can increase your risk of cognitive decline and social isolation.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So getting your hearing checked is about a lot more than just being able to hear the TV.
Exactly. And finally, the AI recommends some comprehensive blood tests.
Okay. What are those for?
They can check for a whole bunch of things like anemia and how well your liver and kidneys are working. The chatbot explains that these tests give your doctor a really good overview of your overall health.
So it's like a full body scan, but from the inside out.
Exactly. And that can help your doctor create a health plan that's specifically for you.
Okay, so we've covered all the must-do health checks. Now, I'm curious about what the AI doctor says about lifestyle factors that can impact our health.
Yeah.
You know, those everyday habits that can make a difference.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the chatbot actually goes beyond just listing tests and really digs into how we can take control of our well-being. And it all starts with something I think we can all relate to, maintaining a healthy weight.
Ugh, the eternal struggle, right? But why does the AI chatbot put so much emphasis on weight management?
Well, it makes it clear that there's a strong connection between being overweight or obese and a whole bunch of health problems.
Like what kind of problems?
Heart disease, diabetes, certain types of cancer, you name it.
Okay, so it's pretty serious.
hmm
And it's not just saying lose weight, right?
hmm
Does it give any specific advice?
It does. It actually quantifies the benefits of losing even a small amount of weight.
Oh, really?
Mm.
What kind of benefits are we talking about?
It says that if you lose just 5–10% of your body weight, you can significantly lower your blood pressure, improve your cholesterol levels, and even reduce your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by almost 60%.
Wow. Okay, so even small changes can make a big difference.
Exactly. And the chatbot stresses that it's better to focus on making gradual changes to your lifestyle rather than trying those crash diets that never seem to click in the long run.
Okay, so sustainable weight management. Got it.
Hmm.
What else does the AI doctor recommend?
Well, no health conversation would be complete without talking about diet, right?
Of course not. Everyone's always talking about what we should and shouldn't eat.
Exactly. But the chatbot goes beyond just the usual eat your fruits and veggies advice.
Okay, so what does it say?
It suggests focusing on foods that are rich in potassium, like bananas and sweet potatoes. Potassium can actually help counteract the negative effects that sodium has on your blood pressure.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it even gives specific recommendations for portion sizes and how often you should eat. It suggests eating smaller meals more frequently throughout the day to help keep your blood sugar levels stable.
So it's not just about what you eat, but also how much and how often you eat it.
Exactly. You got it. And of course, the chatbot reminds us to limit processed foods, sugary drinks, and those unhealthy fats.
Okay, so basically everything that tastes good.
Pretty much.
Right.
But, moderation is key.
Right, so we're managing our weight, eating a balanced diet. What's next?
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing exercise is on the list.
And this is where the chatbot gets really interesting. It doesn't just say get moving. It actually breaks down the science behind why exercise is so crucial for a 48-year-old man like you.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's hear this science.
So as we get older, our metabolism naturally slows down. We start to lose muscle mass, and our cardiovascular system isn't as efficient as it used to be.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that happening.
Right. But regular exercise can help fight back against all those age-related changes.
So it's like turning back the clock on our bodies.
In a way, yeah. The chatbot says that exercise can improve your heart health, boost your metabolism, increase your muscle mass, and even make your bones stronger, which is super important for preventing osteoporosis later on.
Okay, so that's a pretty impressive list of benefits.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it recommends getting our heart rate up with some cardio.
Absolutely. It suggests aiming for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity every week.
150 minutes. What kind of activities are we talking about?
Things like brisk walking or cycling.
Okay, I think I can manage that. But what if I'm not exactly a gym rat?
Well, the good news is that the chatbot is all about finding activities that you actually enjoy and that you can fit into your daily life.
So it's not about forcing yourself to do something you hate.
Right. It even suggests things like gardening dancing or taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
So just finding little ways to move more throughout the day.
Exactly. And it also emphasizes the importance of strength training at least twice a week.
Wait, hold on. Strength training. At my age.
Yes. The chatbot is a big believer in strength training, especially for men in their 40s and beyond.
Okay, but why is that so important?
Mm.
I thought cardio was the key to staying in shape.
Cardio is important too, but as we get older, we naturally lose muscle mass, and strength training can help us build it back up.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's
Yeah.
not about bulking up. It's about maintaining your strength and function as you age.
Exactly. And having more muscle mass can also help boost your metabolism and make your bones stronger.
So it's a win-win situation.
Pretty much. And here's something I found really interesting. The chatbot also recommends incorporating flexibility and balance exercises into your routine.
Oh, like yoga or Tai Chi?
Exactly. Those kinds of activities can help you move more freely, prevent injuries, and reduce your risk of falls as you get older.
Okay, so it's not just about lifting weights and running. It's about having a well-rounded approach to fitness.
You got it. And that holistic approach extends beyond just physical activity. The AI doctor also emphasizes the importance of managing stress, getting enough sleep, and even cutting back on things like caffeine and alcohol.
Oh boy, here comes the fun police.
Not exactly. The chatbot isn't saying you have to give up everything you enjoy. It's more about being mindful of your habits and making healthier choices.
Okay, so like everything in moderation.
Exactly. And the chatbot explains why it's important to watch your caffeine and alcohol intake.
Okay, I'm listening.
So too much caffeine can raise your blood pressure, and too much alcohol can disrupt your sleep and even lead to weight gain.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What about stress? How does that factor into all of this?
Well, the chatbot calls stress a hidden health hazard. It basically says that if you're stressed out all the time, it can have a bunch of negative effects on your body.
Like what?
It can increase your risk of heart disease and stroke, weaken your immune system, and even mess with your mental health.
Okay, so stress is no joke.
Nope, not at all. And that's why the chatbot dedicates a whole section to stress management techniques.
Yeah, I remember talking about things like deep breathing exercises and mindfulness meditation. What are your thoughts on that?
I was actually pretty impressed with the chatbot's advice on stress management. It goes beyond just those generic tips and actually explains the science behind different relaxation techniques.
So it's not just about lighting some scented candles and taking a bubble bath.
Right. It's about understanding how these techniques can actually affect your body and your mind.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this deep breathing stuff.
So the chatbot explains that when you do deep breathing exercises, you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically the system that calms your body down.
Oh, so it's like a natural chill pill.
Exactly. And it even recommends specific breathing techniques like the 4-7-8 method.
What's that?
It's where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds.
I might have to try that. What about mindfulness meditation? Isn't that just for hippies?
Not at all. The chatbot describes it as a way to train your mind to focus on the present moment without judging your thoughts and feelings.
Oh, okay, so it's like a mental workout.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
And the chatbot says that regular meditation can help reduce anxiety, improve your sleep, and even boost your immune system.
Wow. Okay, so it's good for your mind and your body.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And the chatbot goes beyond just meditation. It also recommends finding activities that you enjoy that help you relax and de-stress.
So like listening to music or spending time in nature.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about finding what works for you and making it a part of your daily routine.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about essential checkups, lifestyle changes, and even stress management techniques. It's amazing how much this AI doctor has to offer.
It really is. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The chatbot has even more insights on specific health concerns that are particularly relevant for a 48-year-old man like you.
All right, I'm ready to dive deeper.
Yeah.
Let's see what else this digital doc has in store for us.
One thing that really stuck out to me was how much the AI focused on heart health. It really dives deep into how to manage your cholesterol levels.
Yeah, that was interesting. It's not just about cutting out all the fatty foods, right?
Right. It actually pointed out that your genes can play a big role in your cholesterol levels.
Oh, so even if you're doing everything right, you could still have high cholesterol.
Exactly. So even if you're living a pretty healthy lifestyle, your genes might be working against you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what does it recommend for people who might be predisposed to high cholesterol?
It really emphasizes knowing your family history and working with your doctor to keep those cholesterol levels in check.
So it's about being proactive and staying informed.
Yeah. And it also suggests regular monitoring even if you're already on medication.
Oh, so you got to make sure the treatment plan is actually working.
Exactly. And, I remember it mentioned something about good fats actually being beneficial for cholesterol. Can you explain that a little more?
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that too. How can fat be good for you?
Well, it actually breaks down the different types of fats and explains how they affect your cholesterol. It highlights monounsaturated fats, which are found in olive oil and avocados, and polyunsaturated fats, which are in nuts and fatty fish.
Okay, so it's not all fats are created equal.
Nope. And it even gets into the science behind it. It explains that these good fats can increase your HDL, which is the good cholesterol that helps clean out the bad stuff.
Oh, so it's like a two-for-one deal. You're getting the good stuff and getting rid of the bad stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, we can't forget about exercise. That plays a big role in managing cholesterol, too.
Right, I was just thinking about that. Does the AI recommend specific types of exercise?
It does. It emphasizes that regular physical activity can raise your good cholesterol and lower your bad cholesterol. And it suggests aiming for at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise most days of the week.
So like all those activities we talked about earlier, walking, swimming, strength training, they're all good for our cholesterol too.
You got it. And it even suggests incorporating something called HIIT a few times a week.
HIIT.
What's that? It stands for high intensity interval training. It's where you alternate between short bursts of really intense exercise and periods of recovery.
Also like sprinting and then resting and then sprinting again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The chatbot explains that HII can be super effective for improving your cardiovascular health and boosting your metabolism.
Sounds intense, but I
Okay.
guess it's good to challenge yourself every now and then.
Right. And it doesn't have to be super complicated. The AI actually gives some examples of simple HII routines that you can do at home or at the gym.
Okay, I might have to give that a try.
Okay.
Now, shifting gears a bit, I'm curious about the AI's take on mental health. It seems like that's becoming more and more important these days.
You're absolutely right. And while the chatbot doesn't get into specific mental health screenings, it does emphasize the importance of managing stress and taking care of your overall well-being.
Yeah, I remember it talked a lot about stress management techniques. But do you think that's enough to address serious mental health concerns?
Well, that's where I think the AI's advice might fall a bit short. It acknowledges that stress can contribute to mental health problems, but it doesn't really go into how to recognize signs of things like depression or anxiety.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's important to remember that this chatbot, while impressive, is still just a tool. It can't replace a real mental health professional.
Exactly. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed or just not like yourself, it's important to reach out for professional help.
Couldn't agree more. There's no shame in taking care of your mental health.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about something that might be a bit more specific to men in their late 40s, prostate health.
Right. That's something a lot of men start to think about around this age.
Yeah, the AI recommends talking to your doctor about prostate cancer screening, but it's not a blanket recommendation for everyone.
So what factors should men consider?
Well, the chatbot really emphasizes the importance of having an open conversation with your doctor and taking into account your individual risk factors and family history.
So it's about making an informed decision together.
Exactly. And it even mentions that there are different types of prostate cancer screenings, each with its own pros and cons.
Okay, so there are options to consider.
Right. And the chatbot even gives you some helpful questions that you can ask your doctor to make sure you really understand the screening process.
Oh, that's helpful. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge so you can make the best decisions for your health.
Precisely. Now let's switch gears again and talk about another topic that's relevant for men in their late 40s, energy levels.
Ah, yes, the dreaded energy slump. Is that something the AI addresses?
It doesn't specifically talk about age-related energy decline, but it does emphasize the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle, which can definitely impact your energy levels.
So it all comes back to those foundational habits: diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management.
Exactly. The chatbot explains that those habits can help balance your hormones, boost your metabolism, and improve your sleep quality, which can all lead to more energy.
Okay, so it's like a ripple effect. All these healthy habits work together to make you feel better overall.
You got it. And here's something I found particularly interesting. The chatbot actually suggests getting your thyroid checked if you're feeling constantly tired.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Well, it explains that an underactive thyroid can cause fatigue, weight gain, and even depression. It's more common in women, but men can have it too.
So it's worth looking into if you're just dragging all the time.
Absolutely. And the good news is that it's treatable with medication.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, I'm curious about something that often comes up for men in their 40s and beyond. Hormonal changes, specifically testosterone.
Yeah, that's a big one. The chatbot doesn't directly address testosterone levels in this particular conversation, but it does talk about understanding the changes your body goes through as you age.
Right. So what are some signs of low testosterone that men should be aware of?
Well, the most common symptoms are fatigue, low libido, decreased muscle mass, and mood swings.
So if you're experiencing any of those, it's probably worth talking to your doctor.
Absolutely. They can check your testosterone levels and discuss treatment options if necessary.
Okay, good to know.
Well,
Now let's switch gears again and talk about something that often gets overlooked, bone health.
oh, that's a great point. Bone density naturally declines with age, and that can lead to a higher risk of fractures, especially as you get older.
So what can we do to protect our bones?
The chatbot really emphasizes the importance of getting enough calcium and vitamin D. It even suggests getting your vitamin D levels checked because deficiency is pretty common these days.
Okay, so things like dairy products, leafy greens, and maybe some sunshine for that vitamin D.
Exactly. And the chatbot also highlights the benefits of weight-bearing exercise for bone health.
So activities like walking, running, and strength training can actually help strengthen your bones.
Absolutely. It explains that when you do weight-bearing exercises, you're putting stress on your bones, which actually stimulates them to become stronger and denser.
Oh, wow. So our bones are actually adaptable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They respond to the challenges we give them, and it's never too early to start thinking about bone health.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from cholesterol management to bone health. Is there anything else the AI doctor recommends for a 48-year-old man?
You know, one thing that really stood out to me was how much it emphasized preventive screenings. It's not just about cancer screenings. It also recommends getting regular checkups for things like blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar.
Right, those are all important. But sometimes it's hard to remember when to get them all done. Does the AI chatbot offer any guidance on that?
It does. It actually provides a personalized screening schedule based on your age risk factors and family history.
Oh, wow, so it's like a custom health roadmap.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it even sends you reminders so you don't forget to schedule those appointments.
That's great. It's like having a personal assistant for your health.
And it's not just about screenings. The chatbot also talks about how important it is to have a good relationship with your doctor.
Okay, why is that so important?
Well, it explains that having a doctor you trust and feel comfortable talking to is crucial for getting the best possible care. It encourages you to ask questions, share your concerns, and really be involved in your healthcare decisions.
That makes sense. It's about being an advocate for your own health.
Exactly. And seeing your doctor as a partner in your health journey.
Okay, so we've talked about preventive screenings and having a good doctor-patient relationship. Is there anything else the AI doctor wants us to know?
You know, one thing that really resonated with me was its emphasis on the interconnectedness of our health.
What do you mean by that?
It explains that our physical, mental, and emotional health are all intertwined. It's not about treating each one separately, but rather understanding how they all affect each other.
Okay, so it's about taking a holistic approach to well-being.
Exactly. And it even suggests ways to weave healthy habits into your daily routine.
Oh, like what?
Things like taking short walks during your workday, practicing mindful eating, and setting aside time for relaxation and stress management.
So it's about finding small, sustainable ways to take care of yourself.
Exactly. And the chatbot even provides some helpful tools and resources to support you in making those changes.
It's like having a personal health coach right in your pocket.
Exactly. And the best part is that these small changes can really add up and make a big difference in your overall health and well-being.
Yeah, it really is amazing how these small changes can add up and make a big difference in the long run. You know, we've all heard that saying, you are what you eat. But this deep dive is really driving home the point that all those little choices we make every day, they really do matter.
Yeah, for sure. The AI's focus on this whole idea of holistic well-being that really stuck with me. It's not just about treating one symptom at a time. It's about recognizing that our physical health, our mental health, and our emotional health are all connected.
Right, and it was refreshing to hear a chatbot promoting a balanced approach instead of some crazy restrictive diet or workout plan.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about finding what works for you personally and making changes that you can actually stick with.
Speaking of sustainable changes, the AI had some pretty interesting advice about stress management. What did you think about that?
You know, I have to admit, I was a little skeptical at first about getting stress management advice from a chatbot, but I was actually really impressed. It went beyond just those generic tips and actually explained the science behind different relaxation techniques.
Yeah, I talked about deep breathing exercises and mindfulness meditation. Did any of that resonate with you?
It did, actually. I've even started incorporating some of those breathing techniques into my own routine. It's amazing how just a few minutes of deep breathing can really help you calm down and feel more centered.
That's great to hear. It's like we all have these tools built into our bodies that can help us manage stress. We just need to learn how to use them.
Exactly. And the AI even provides step-by-step instructions for different breathing exercises. It's like having a little stress management guide in your pocket.
I like that. Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground here, but I wanted to circle back to something you mentioned earlier. You said that the AI might not be the best resource for dealing with serious mental health concerns. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So while the chatbot does talk about the importance of mental health and offers some general tips for managing stress, it doesn't really get into the details of specific mental health conditions like depression or anxiety.
Right, and it's important to remember that this AI, while it's definitely impressive, is not a replacement for a real mental health professional.
Absolutely. If you're struggling with persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, or anxiety, it's so important to reach out to a qualified mental health professional.
I completely agree. There's no shame in asking for help. When it comes to your mental health, getting professional support can make a world of difference.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you'd like our listeners to walk away with today?
For me, it's the AI's focus on preventive healthcare. It's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget to take care of ourselves. But this deep dive is a great reminder that investing in our health is one of the best things we can do for ourselves.
That's a great point. It's about being proactive and taking steps to protect our health instead of waiting for something to go wrong.
Exactly. And this AI doctor has given us some really valuable tools and knowledge to help us do just that.
It really has. This has been such a fascinating deep dive into the world of AI and healthcare.
We've covered so much ground today, from those essential health checks for a 48-year-old man to the AI's insights on managing cholesterol, reducing stress, and even the importance of taking care of our mental well-being.
And remember, this is just the beginning. The AI doctor is a great resource, but the next step is to take all this information and work with your own doctor to create a personalized health plan that meets your specific needs and goals.
So if you haven't already, scheduled that checkup and start taking control of your health today. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of knowledge and discovery. Until then, stay curious and stay well.